Yeah, how's it going, guys? It's Rich Unicorn Caller here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We are back with our Raid in Guild 101 video series. In the last video, I showed you guys a few of the methods, or at least one of the methods, on how to get Azoth, at least AFK-wise. If you're scared of getting banned, you can just get Azoth through boss rematches, some gold skeleton key bosses, and even the Fortune... what was it? Portal of Peril. I don't know why I said Fortune, but if you have your Fortune coins, you can use that in order to get Azoth. But yeah, auto-clicking isn't really an egregious act. Now, if you are someone that is doing stuff like demos and you're literally zipping across the map like we saw with someone that was like auto-farming cattails at like flash speed velocity, that seemed a little weird. And of course, if you're someone that raids and you use Demos, or if you're just speeding through the game, that's a little bit more on the egregious side of things. Obviously, it's up to you on what you want to do, but I've been auto-clicking for a couple of years to get Azoth, at least in the commons. I have thousands of flax, so if the developers, they already got my account information, so if they want to ban me, so be it, and, you know, carry on with that. But I'm going to show you the next thing that you need. Make sure to hold on to that Azoth. If you have Azoth, make sure to hold on to that, because that Azoth is going to be good for when you join a guild, which we'll do that video later on. But we are going to talk about cantrips and all the fun stuff and how to unlock it. Now, in order to actually unlock cantrips and even join a guild, you have to be at least a level 30 wizard. You can't just be a level 1 and join off the rip unless you were already in a guild on another character on the same account. But off the rip, you gotta be a level 30. So hopefully you guys kind of took advantage of that free membership that we had recently. I mean, I would imagine that most players nowadays are at least level 30. But again, this magic touch cantrip thing does require a premium area. So once you do get around level 30, you'll go to the commons and you'll talk to Abner K. Doodle. He'll actually have a notification pop up on the side of your screen, and he'll basically want to talk to you and kind of give you the lowdown about Spellmint or Azoth or, you know, whatever it is. But you're gonna see a Cantrip101 tutorial. I don't have any level 30 characters because I already did magic touch on my other level 30 alt accounts, but you will basically talk to him and he will show you the magic touch icon, which you can see at the top or bottom of the screen. As a matter of fact, let me just make my UI a little bit bigger so you guys can actually see it. So it will be this little icon right here, and it will say cantrips, and he will basically tell you to use the teleport cantrip, which is going to teleport you to Hansfire Buttersfield, or however you pronounce that, basically to Wisteria. So this is the tricky part, and this is another reason why I think cantrips never really took off when they first released it. This is a premium zone. So, unfortunately, if you do not have access to Wisteria, you will be unable to actually do this and complete the entire tutorial for cantrips. Like I said, just take advantage of the free membership. But we will cast that, and this will take us directly to kind of the main hub of Wisteria in front of the NPC that we're going to talk to. This guy right here. Hansfire Buttersfield. So then you'll follow that quest line, and again, it will just pop up. He'll show you a magic touch cantrip that you will cast with him, and that will basically give you the ability to cast magic touch. Now, magic touch is probably one of the best things to have for when you want to join a guild or a raid, because this is going to allow you to do stuff like the housing museum with the quintessence, or unlock additional guild islands, or even unlock the raid portal, and even used for some raids as well, like the Ghastly Conspiracy raid where you magic touch the Bound Stone and you get the touchstone, blah, 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 blah. You can honestly go raiding with a lot of low levels. We've done it before in the guild for many years. It's really not that difficult, but magic touch is extremely versatile and it is really, really good. And you really, really do need it for most guilds. I would imagine most guilds will not allow you to go raiding with them if you don't even have magic touch. But like I said, you'll complete that cantrip tutorial and you will officially unlock magic touch. Now, magic touch can also be used in a PvE sense, such as the cantrip chest, which again, if there are 3 magic touches on those cantrip chests, you'll basically get a whole bunch of like spellments or whatever, right? Now, over here, he will also have some recipes, or not recipes, but he'll have some other spells that you can learn. And over time, you can kind of cast Magic Touch, cast Flip, and just kind of level it up periodically. But over here, you'll have the Cantrip crafting station. This is kind of, I would consider the PvE way, or yeah, you know, just the regular way of crafting the Radiances. You can craft like Fishing Luck auras, heal and mana ones, and then they just have one for healing. And then Sneak, which is actually really good. Highly recommend this one. This will allow you to kind of level up if you're at level 4 at cantrips. And they got a whole bunch of other, you know, treasure cards and junk that you can use. But that is primarily for the Radiances. If you're someone that really needs more Radiances, you can whale out and you can actually get a Radiance pack, or at least a cantrip pack in the game, which I'm not the biggest fan of, you know, unless you just have like 1 billion crowns and you really don't need it. But, you know, here it is. You have your Sigil cantrip pack number 1. You know, you got your Radiance cantrip pack, which is going to have basically all the Radiances in there. You know, healing mana 4s, healing mana 3s, etc., etc. Fun fact about these Radiances, if you are doing the Voracious Void raid and you're ever on the outside team, like with all 8 players and stuff like that, you can actually go into pet mode and you will find dirt mounds. I just clicked the balance scout. I clicked the balance scout on accident. But you'll go into pet mode and you'll basically see, oh no, what is my pet doing? Okay. I think my pet is frozen. But you'll see dirt mounds. If you go into pet mode, you will, you know, find dirt mounds across the field and stuff like that. Did that thing just instantly spawn in? Oh my gosh. I hope this isn't another AFK, like, auto Azoth form I'm thinking of. Who knows at this point. But, yeah, you'll find dirt mounds, and that will also have Radiances, too. So, let me show you how to get some battle cantrips. So, those are Radiances. Now we're going to talk about, you know, battle cantrips or sigil support cantrips. Now, you can only craft these at a guild. So, unfortunately, you will be forced to join a guild if you ever want to get the sigil supports, right? And you probably saw me on stream use these before, but these are stuff that can basically aid you in battle or at the start of the battle, like get pips or place a trap or, you know, place a blade. So you'll go to Gwenfell Warden. This will be at the Raid Battle Island. And you'll go to Cantrip Sigil spells. And, you know, they have a bunch that you can craft here. Donate Power, Dual Strike, Fiery Explosion, Horn of Plenty, pretty good. Legion Shields. And, you know, Sprite Swarm, Brilliant Plague. You know, a whole bunch of other ones, right? Now, here is the thing. Just a reminder that you probably won't be able to craft, like, all these or anything until you actually upgrade the entire crafter itself. And that's going to take a lot, and I mean a lot, of Azoth. So, depending on the guild you're in, if they don't have that upgrade available, you basically won't be able to craft it overall. Now, some guilds will also have these little daily interactives that will give you Azoth as well, just in case you wanted more ways to get Azoth. But that's basically it for cantrips. If you want to level it up, literally just kind of cast a few magic touches a few flips here and there, maybe do a couple of sigil support cantrips and some radiances as well. These are rank 3s, the donate power 1, then the donate power 2 is rank 5, and then the donate power 3 will be rank 7. For some raids, you don't need a really high like cantrip level. The max level in the game is level 9 because they never made a level 9 cantrip spell at all. So level 9 is it. That's it. There's like nothing else to do after level 9. If you're at level 8, you have to do the level 8 radiances, which I believe is like healing mana 4 or whatever. But that's beyond it. Depending on whatever guild or raid you're running, it might be a requirement for some. But overall, cantrips can be fun. And probably the biggest drawback of this whole entire thing is that unfortunately, using cantrips does take energy. And that is probably another big reason why this gameplay feature just never took off in general. Because I have spent probably about like 30 energy, and that's just off of like the raid gate because we had to reset early, or someone forgot some treasure cards, or someone crashed, and just doing that over and over again, it just kind of gets to the point of annoyance. And I kind of wish that cantrips took mana, but understandably, for some raids, it does require you to suck down on a lot of elixirs. Chat, don't clip that. And yeah, and we know energy elixirs makes a little bit of bread. So unfortunately, cantrips will probably never see like a mana overhaul or just like an energy overhaul in general, just because, you know, energy elixirs makes money. We already talked about the whole Grub Guardian situation, how they basically took away energy elixirs and all the other cool rewards and all that fun stuff. Now, if you do need energy elixirs, you can get them through various events, such as the Pet Promenade and also the Scroll of Fortune as well. So I highly recommend doing those, especially the Pet Promenade, because again, that can just give you a lot of pet elixirs and again, that energy elixir. But beyond that, that is pretty much all I have to say about cantrips. I highly encourage you guys to check it out, especially the next time they have a free membership, so that way, you know, you'll have access to Wisteria. I guess the main complaints that I have about cantrips is that, number one, it takes energy. I'm already using the energy on training raid pets, or just, you know, feeding the plants or fishing or anything else. You know, energy is being used on a lot of activities, and it kind of gets a little costly at sometimes. And when you're doing those high radiant spells such as heal and mana, those can take a lot, and I mean a lot of energy. You probably will have to use an energy elixir eventually if you keep casting them. So for example, heal and mana 4 takes a whopping 60 energy to cast, and that's gonna give you like 3k health and 200 mana, right? And that's what I mean by it gets a little bit costly. Like, it just kind of gets, like, if it was mana, I would understand, because that would be cool, and, you know, we could potentially see some mana builds. But since it costs energy, well, you know, it gets a little costly, and that's probably why it loses a lot of interest. But yeah, and I understand that it kind of ties into Wisteria, but I just wish there was, like, I guess a quote-unquote free-to-play way to kind of unlock the magic touch spell overall, because like I said, you have to get access to Wisteria, and that is a premium area. So unless they're kind of maybe willing to make maybe that area free, I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't hurt them, because that way players can, you know, do that. They can go to the crafter and, you know, craft whatever they want, and also unlock magic touch, you know. But yeah, magic, you know, cantrips just never really took off, and it's mainly kind of like a raid thing. But they are pretty fun, and I definitely encourage you guys to check it out. I usually cast them a lot whenever I'm doing like little random team ups and stuff like that. It's fun, but understandably I can, you know, kind of get how people feel about it and why it never really took off or why people aren't really interested in it. But concerning raids, I highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. You probably should just get it, right? Probably like the biggest requirement in order to raid, especially for stuff like the Ghastly Conspiracy raid, where you have to cast a magic touch on the school touchstone and the balance stone to get extra time, and stuff like the Aztec raid if you're trying to do the Gatekeeper of Apocalypse. You know, just a whole bunch of stuff. You know, you wouldn't probably need it for the Void raid, because again, you could, you know, just have someone else cast it for you. But, you know, again, it's all up to you, but highly recommend it. Probably like the biggest thing about guilds. Get Magic Touch. Get it and be over with, okay? You don't even have to worry about like leveling up your cantrips. That's just kind of like a side hobby. But just get Magic Touch, please. But until then, I will talk to you guys later, and yeah, peace out. Peace out.